While the Ministry of Health says all doctors who went abroad for specialized health services training have returned home. And the Mass take on Gabon on an hour from now at Luwati Sports Complex. Dumelang, the President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, accompanied by the First Lady Meneo Masisi and his delegation, paid a courtesy call on the owners of Hydraulic, Karl Heisengenridi, who is also President of VDMA, Association of Mechanical Engineering Industry in Munich, Germany. Mr. Heisengen commended Botswana for maintaining a sound fiscal policy which contributed to the ever-growing economy. The two exchanged ideas on how Botswana can partner with Howe Hydraulic Company. He emphasized that the African continent is a highly interesting field of investment in the hydraulics industry, with Botswana being a country of choice. VDMA represents the interest of Germany's large capital goods sector, including machinery plants, system suppliers, as well as system integrators, amongst others.
Botswana is extremely eager to run in its growth against a number of unconventional odds relative to what we want to do. We're fairly small in size, economic size. We're fairly small in population size, but we're potentially very impactful given our education. We're potentially very impactful given our youthfulness. We're potentially very impactful because relative to our population, our incomes are not too bad in terms of an ability to provide for learning and provide for tools, even at the government level. So that's some things that many in our continent of our size who would not afford as we would.
Communication is the key to cooperation. We have started our cooperation with Botswana a few years ago in the educational sector. We installed hydraulic training centers in Gaborone. It's a very successful project, and we experienced Botswana to be a very effective and productive place to be. And for us, it was first of all an honor to have His Excellency and First Lady here. And second of all, the exchange of information with the President and also with his team is helping us to better understand what Botswana needs and what we can do and how we can profit from the development in Botswana.
And Botswana is keen on benchmarking on the best practices and forging collaborations with the Germans to use innovative ways and solutions in the production of goods. The President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, shared this when he led his delegation to EVA Motors yesterday, a company that came from a research project of a technical university to build a commercial electric vehicle for Africa, which was founded in 2017 and actually is planning to produce for the international market from 2024. Kutlam Matlawapiri.
Following his address at the Beads and Pretzels Founders Conference, President Masisi and his delegation toured EVA Motors, a company that manufactures electric cars suitable for African needs. This visit is in line with government's intentions of setting up an assembly plant for electric cars.
Mo maharatlhatlheng a tshwanang le one a tiriso ya motlakase o ke buang ke rong wa bo hetla ke tsa tlwalela mme segolo tota e le gone mo goreng re batla gore re anye ebile le bone ba tle ba kgona go anya mo go rona tse e leng gore di amana le innovation.
This versatile electric car will meet the needs of Botswana.
Koloi e leng gore ka go dirwa ga yone e ka nna molemo le mosola thata mo balemi ba rona, e ka nna molemo le mosola thata gongwe mo Batswana ba etle ba nang le kgwebo e ba reng ba di dira tsa bo matshironyana, mme ebile re akanya gore e ka nna le mosola tota mo tirong tse re di akantseng tsa kago tsa ditsela e le gore Batswana ba ka di dirisa e le tipper truck yaka ba e supile mme e lekanetseng gore go ka bereka mo go tsone ditsela tse re tla beng re di dira tsa block paving.
Meanwhile, the development of electric cars assembly plant in Botswana will empower Botswana as well as to create employment.
The co-founders of EVA Motors, that's the company which is building the vehicle, the A-car, The aircraft was specially designed to be used on rough African roads. It can sustain big terrain. It's all-wheel drive and can transport up to 1 ton of payload.
We want at least the basic and assembly plant back home. And any component that we can actually manufacture home, such as the one I talked about in terms of a battery, we will be actually looking for components that can go into this vehicle. And the essence is for us to establish back home. And probably initially, we'll look for a JV, a joint venture between a government entity and this private company, with the aim that eventually we want to sell these shares to businesses of Botswana.
However, this engagement does not end here, as President Masisi has invited these producers to Botswana Investment Conference to be hosted in October. Tlotlam Matlabapiri, BTV News, Munich, Germany.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Kgalagadi South, Ressem Brooks, has urged residents of Kolongkwaneng in Kgalagadi South to go for artificial insemination training at the Ramatlabama Artificial Insemination Center, where they will be equipped with essential skills to breed and improve their livestock. Addressing a Kotla meeting, he said government has reduced the artificial insemination cost fees from 6,000 pula to only 500 pula.
Ramatlabama Artificial Insemination Center offers farmers practical lessons on artificial insemination and its benefits. Mr. Brooks said the government has reduced the artificial insemination cost fees from 6,000 pula to 500 pula in an effort to encourage farmers to join the program, which will equip them with lifelong skills. He further said it's vital for farmers to gain knowledge on the importance of artificial insemination, citing that it gives them access to quality livestock they cannot afford to purchase. Artificial insemination has great returns. It will be great for young people to go for training and come back to offer farmers in the region this service. Residents say they will find time to go for training at Ramatlabama.
I have 500 ke batla go ya thutong ya kgodisi ka letsogo kana go nke batla go isa ngwana.
Do we have to register as a group to go for training, or am I allowed to go on my own?
Motsadi ame tota go kora Ramatlabama ke le hatsi lotlhe ka bophara ga re le tele gore le nne setlhopha.
You don't have to wait for anyone if you want to go for training.
Se tsibile re ikgolaganya le ba go Ramatlabama gore o kgone go etela teng mo ditutong tse tle be di simologa mona go tle be latela. You'll be next on the list.
Mr. Brooks said farmers should learn to ask veterinary office for help when they encounter problems with livestock rearing. He advised them to groom and vaccinate their livestock regularly in preparation for the soon-to-open Tsabo multi-species abattoir. Ke o lebogile Redipotsane, BTV News, Kolongkwaneng.
The Ministry of Health say they have received all the doctors who went abroad for specialized health services training. This was said to be a great achievement as their presence will assist the government to meet the needs for specialized care countrywide. The Assistant Minister of Health, Rasethomo Latisitswe, said this during a consultative meeting in Serowe recently.
During the consultative meeting, residents expressed displeasure over unsatisfactory health services in some facilities in their village, emanating from shortage of health workers in the country. However, the Assistant Minister reassured them that their village will be allocated some of the doctors who just returned home after they were sent for specialized training abroad as a way to address the situation.
Just let's say ya na maloba ke ne ke le go se kgomo ke sentse ke be tswile ngwa ga se ngwa ga petse di ka kwa ga teke ko ke ba ra ke ga ile go bona ga ke bona ga teng ya mme a bona se ka go thusa ka tsona bona meleng
tota go botlhoko di khantsentse di bua tsena ka rona bangwe ra affecting di-check-up tsa bagolo ba di neelwang ko sepateleng go te batle mo go tsone go le boammaaruri o e bona o tlhokagetse
kore ga o ile ko sekgomo o isitse molwetse ga o ya ka 7 wa go tswa phakela ka 4 mo maphakeleng ga o re wa botsa tona gore bothata e ka tswaeleng ba go raya ba re ga gona dingaka
le ha tshele la rona le tlhoka dingaka tse gote di-specialist kore dingaka tsa malwetse a tseneletseng di le dintsi mme ra itoma sekgolo gore le ha go le thata ja re sena dingaka tse re na le tsone e le Batswana bana ba rona ra ba romela go dikweleng over 300 re ba tsere mo dipateleng tsa rona re ba tsere mo dipateleng tsa rona ra ba tsaya go pegapa ne re ba tsaya go mo go sekgomang re ba tsaya mo go Phalape re ba tsaya mo go Lethakane re ba tsaya mo go Francistown gore ba ye go ithutela malwetse a tseneletseng.
Meanwhile, Serowe District Health Management Team DHMT appreciated additional clinics in their district, saying they are a commendable development contributing meaningfully to the growth of the health sector.
Di kliniki di tere tata re go lekodisa sente re go bontsha gore no bona di kliniki tseo di recommendileng tse di itileng ko parlamente mo National Development Plan Approval Project tse di hedile ka 2023 gore komi ya bana go tshwantse go dirweng ko mo gore se go dirweng ko mo gore se ya bua kliniki wa Hepira ya bua kliniki ya mo gore se ka ha di bileng ka teng mme tsonetse a re go nna ha ba setona re bi di le ba pele gore
the public was implored to work harmoniously with the health workers in their areas so as to optimize service delivery within the sector. Gilekelezwe Somolekai, BTV News.
Gaborone High Court Judge Zainab Kibonang says the Attorney General's claim that Isaac Khosi is a personal friend to his twin brother Sadiq Kibonang is not a valid reason for him to rescue himself from a case involving the former Directorate of Intelligence and Security, Colonel Isaac Khosi. And Judge highlighted this in a judgment responding to the state's application for recusal.
The state attorney Khotso Botlhole on Friday last week halted the court proceedings in a case in which Isaac Khosi has filed with the High Court asking to be given his guns back as he had acquired them lawfully and that there's no reasonable basis for the continued detention of the firearms and licenses. In his submission, Botlhole has indicated that Judge Kemwana must recuse himself as Isaac Khosi is a long-time friend to his twin brother Sadiq Kibonang and was once co-accused with Khosi in the National Petroleum Fund scandal. And lastly, he once served as the chairperson of the Directorate of Intelligence and Security Tribunal. In his responding judgment, Justice Kibonang says the applicant's claim that Isaac Khosi is a personal friend to his twin brother Sadiq Kibonang has nothing to do with him, his court, or the subject matter of the proceedings before him, as he is not responsible for his brother or his keepers. On his chairmanship of the DIS Tribunal, which ran from 2016 to 2020, Justice Kibonang said he was appointed by the President of the Republic of Botswana, as it was the case with the appointment of Dr. Godfrey Radjeng to be the chairperson of the DIS Tribunal. Kibonang said for the past 3 years since he stepped down as the chairperson of the DIS Tribunal, he has dealt with cases involving DIS employees and have at no point been asked to recuse himself on account that he is the former chairperson of the DIS Tribunal. On the allegation that he was charged with Isaac Khosi on the NPF scandal, Justice Kibonang said it is not true since the state has failed to show any count in which he was charged. Ungutle Tamare, BTV News, Gaborone.
You're watching BTV News and thank you for staying with us. Members of Parliament from Southern Africa got together to discuss issues of climate change and its effects. The Acting Minister of Environment and Tourism, Ramabuse Pule, said the main objective of this meeting is to come up with laws that will address issues of climate change as SADC member states. Khurata Moranyane.
Climate change affects people's livelihoods in different ways, especially the agricultural sector, which most countries rely on for sustenance. The conference is envisaged to engage and come up with long-lasting solutions to climate change in African countries.
Southern region, action items, how do we want to fight this climate change thing? Capacity
The Southern African Science Services Center for Climate Change and Adaptive Land Management indicated that countries are burdened by the effects of climate change, continuously collapsing countries' economies.
go ama gone gore re ka nna le yone temo e leng goreng e ka re thusa mme a ka re itse gore motshelo jwa Motswana ka jwa Maaforika ko gae ya ka go lebile jana ke kganya gone gore Motswana o tshela ka gone ka mo Afrika o tshela ka gone go itemela a le ma 1 hectare nyana ga ntshe medinyana ga go dinamanyana tsa go di ka motsesang gore a gone go ja mo le balapa la ga go hela jana mme yana go mo gape go le bela gore go oketsaga le gone gore go nne le go shota ga dijo mo lehatsheng ya ka re bona gore mahatsa a mua ka gone go shota ga dijo yana go hela go ama le gone gore a re ntse re le batho jana re bona
Meanwhile, countries are confident the conference will devise solutions for the outcomes of climate change tailor-made for the SADC region.
As members of parliament within SADC region, we are going to share experiences and we are going to have our goals, our objectives, and we are going to have a planning.
The conference is set to end today. Khorata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education and Skills Development is working around the clock to make sure that the process of handing over projects to development projects rather to heads of schools be put together. Now let's have a look at the story.
It is the aspiration of the Ministry of Education and Skills Development to provide quality education for all learners. Ms. Makwinja is of the view that this can only be achieved if employees give their utmost to deliver optimal output. However, a conducive environment where schools' infrastructure is in top-notch condition is a necessity.
Maybe procurement processes take long, but that does not exonerate us as leaders to make sure where we are, the children are safe, the teachers are safe. That doesn't exonerate us. So, head teachers, I know we have all the head teachers here. Please, let's go and protect the safety of our teachers and our children. If we fail you, because we are raising a very unhappy nation.
Our staff is our internal customer. Maybe our learners and our parents and their parents. We believe they are our main customers.
Member of Parliament for Mount East, Mr. Khurtetseke Kgonegile, advised the Ministry of Education and Skills Development to consider public-private partnership as an option to addressing some of the challenges they face in the education sector.
Yes, there might be challenges, but we have a responsibility to our children. Raiti, staff welfare issues, Raiti, facility issues, as elaborated by your visit to Mount Senior, it's about time we reform. Make it tell hore hanseri dira jana ke gone ya ka re rotwetsa le ko leadership re drive the political will for change within the education sector.
Teachers' conditions are learners' conditions.
As long as we provide the necessary conditions for teachers to excel in their work, you are at the same time doing what? Bringing about good performance, because the learners would learn in a very good and conducive environment. Hence our theme, which reads, happy employees, key drivers of results. Hashtag we shall make it.
Meanwhile, top performers in the region were given certificates and cash up to 3,000 pula in the categories of Best Non-Teaching Staff, Best Subject Teacher, Best School Leaders, and Most Supportive Parents Teachers Association, to name a few. Mpo Aron, BTV News, Mau.
Now, the Savings and Credit Cooperative Association Congress that will be held in October is anticipated to bring together 1,000 cooperative leaders from 35 countries. The Congress aims to foster collaboration and knowledge sharing, as well as backing or tackling challenges that cooperatives face, including innovative approaches to strengthen their potential. Kubuso Mpanyane reports.
Cooperatives have been identified as a source of income for Botswana for many years. However, current trends suggest that they are not doing well, declining operation due to mismanagement being noted. Therefore, this Congress will pave way to re-establish them by building a strong relationship, as well as looking for alternatives that will make the sector to become more stable.
Botswana is proud to showcase its vibrant cooperative sector, which has played a pivotal role in the country's socio-economic advancement. With a focus on empowering marginalized communities, fostering entrepreneurship and driving sustainable development, the cooperative movement in Botswana has become a catalyst for inclusive growth and poverty. It's worth noting that there are a total of 70 religious circles in Botswana, with a net worth of 1.1 billion pula. This is 100 million US dollars, or 90, given the exchange rate. I think it's 90 million US dollars. This is an indication that cooperatives can effectively participate in economic transformation using the principle of cooperation among cooperatives. That does contribute to Botswana's vision of reaching high income status by 2036. By embracing the principles of cooperatives, we believe nations can make significant strides in fostering economic resilience and social integration, curriculum financial inclusion. For even those that do not have formal employment, they are able to bank, they are able to access loans, and be able to also save their money for future use.
The aim is to resuscitate the operation of cooperatives to see them attain competitive status in the market, more so that they have been assured aid by other European countries.
Our register stands at 364 cooperatives. Of these, 130, only 130 or 36% are active. 34 have been liquidated and 133 are dormant, whilst 67 or 18.4% are at the startup stage. So the Congress that is upcoming will come and help us in trying to resuscitate some of these cooperatives.
ACOSCA also strives to deepen the cooperative enterprise by collaborating with member nations to develop policies and business institutions for the benefit of all cooperative members. To attain its objectives, they implement national efforts in fostering rural-urban development through savings and cooperatives, thereby uplifting the standard of the people, particularly those in low-income brackets. And I must add, in the context of Africa, we consider Botswana not under the low-income bracket.
The public has been asked to support cooperatives as that they can assist in employment creation and improvement of the economy. Kumiso Mapanyani, BTV News, Kaburu.
And that's how we end our bulletin this hour. Thank you for watching. Wasorongo is standing by to give you sports updates.
Let me thank you, Kaelo, and greetings to you all. Now we're getting to In Context, the sports news with me, Hosrongo. And with that, let's just get straight into it and start with the top leading story. The Mayor's head coach, Mohambi Saulos, says even though they faced a few challenges in the first leg of their 2024 Women Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Gabon, he's happy with how they played and the aim is to complete the job they started as they take on Gabon today in the second leg game at Lubatse Sports Complex at 4 p.m. Saulos said this yesterday upon the team's arrival from Gabon, where they won 4-1. Victoria Dagen has more.
The Mares hammered Gabon 4-1 in the first leg, which was played in Franceville, Gabon last week. The 4 goals were scored by Lesora Diakanyo, Refilo Thalakele, and Khaunyadiwe Ontlametse, who scored a brace.
Gabon is a country or it's under siege. It has a soul. After 8. So they kept us there, but playing it at the Monday, the Tuesday, we couldn't travel. And there's nothing they can do. So we had to travel. Made a bit late. And we didn't have enough time to rest. We were prepared for them. Enough rest. We managed to play and we got second half. First half it was heavy. They were construct the passes, so it was very difficult until second half. We recreated those scoring opportunities and we scored 4 goals.
The Mares still have an anthill to climb in the second leg as they take on Gabon on home soil. They did not have enough time to prepare for the game after they arrived yesterday afternoon from Gabon, which did not give them enough time to recuperate.
We faced a similar thing. Plane from Gabon. Some complications. Gabon and let's remember Ethiopia. Then this morning and around over half one, but 2 so it was a rough patch.
Meanwhile, head coach Mohambi Saulos says they are going to have a minor training session ahead of the game as they have limited time to prepare.
So they will do as bath, but massage so that they at least half 9. We don't have any injuries steady, just minor injuries. We are looking forward to all the players will be available.
Botswana and Gabon face each other in the second leg of the 2024 Women Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers today at Lubatse Sport Complex. The winner between Botswana and Gabon will face the winner between Cameroon and Kenya in the next round of qualifiers. Victoria Daken, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
The Assistant Minister of Trade and Industry, Buti Manake, says the Orapa Half Marathon has committed itself to supporting former national athlete Onkabetse Ngobolo with a monthly allowance of 2,000 pula for 12 months as part of their efforts to recognize and support former sports personalities. Honorable Malake highlighted this yesterday at a media launch program held in Gaborone. Tlamelo Mutsusi has more.
Honorable Buti Manake says the money will be used by the former national athlete Onkabetse Ngobolo to pay his caregiver. The former 400-meter star was involved in a car accident that left him crippled back in 2019.
The Orapa Half Marathon has committed to supporting him for the next 12 months with a monthly allowance of 2,000 pula, which I think is a very noble gesture that you are doing, especially coming from a club and not a big organization. We would also partner to see how much we also raise in supporting him through different companies and corporates.
dikgwetlho tsotlhe tsa hitileng ka tsona tse di monate le tse di botlhoko gore bana ba kgone ba tlhaloganye gore botshelo ba athlete bo ntse jang.
Manake further unveiled the duo of 400-meter national athlete Amantle Montsho and former Zebra striker Diphetogo Selolwane as the brand ambassadors.
The engagement of Amantle Montsho comes at a perfect timing as the government of Botswana has been advocating for the involvement of women in different industries. Let me also harness the Amantle Montsho choice was influenced by her achievements and the existing gender equity gap in the sports fraternity.
That I would love to contribute to help. For me, that speaks volumes. I think that's the Botswana we are all striving to have. At some point, we should want to give back, one way or the other.
The Orapa Half Marathon is expected to be held on the 25th of November at Itiken Stadium. Tlamelo Montsusi, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Now moving on to tennis. As Molefe put up a sterling performance in the first round of the ongoing ITF J60 World Tennis Tour as he defeated South Africa's youngster Luke Bosman in straight sets to move on to the boys' singles second round. The tournament is used by junior players from around the globe to battle for points towards the ITF World Rankings. Let's hear more from Ryan Kangwenyane.
Molefe, who came into the clash ranked 1,860 in the World Juniors, knew that victory in the first round would ensure that he joins another local player, Katlego Regweng, in the second round on Wednesday. The opening set proved to be a tough affair as they traded points until the 10th game at 5 up. However, Molefe managed to buckle down to take the next 2 points to capture the set 7-5. In the second set, Molefe took control of the match as Bosman looked to be bothered by the left-hand injury he sustained in the first set. The local lad never eased off to take the set 6-love and move on to the next round.
I didn't play the way I wanted to, but I won and yes, I could have played better. I'm going to try to change the things that went wrong today and apply them tomorrow. In the first set, he got injured in his left hand, his dominant hand. So I just started using that to my advantage.
Molefe will take on Australia's Finlay Dyer in the second round on Wednesday after he defeated Maxime Mehik of South Africa in straight sets of 6-2 and 6-4 in another first round clash on Monday. Ryan Kangwenyane, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And let's leave it there from In Context Sports Desk, and let's meet later on at 5 p.m. for Setswana News. And with that, let's continue with hashtag #changing, hashtag BW Mindset Change. It is very, very vital. With that, have a good afternoon.
Re hetogela gore re boele ko morago go maruping re ipelege ha re ka se ra ipelega ra tswella re ngakalla mo goreng re ikege ka puso hela ra go siwa ke batho me ba go siela ruri ba mahatsa a mangwe a re tšhentšheng a re sa ireng dilo ya ka nentse re dira go na le hatshe go botlhaba ga lehatshe ka bophara le bidwa Vietnam o ne ga lwa ntwa ya diphiragobe e le ga ba ntwa ya teng hela ba ikana ba itoma sekgolo ba re ga ba ye go tlhola ba ira ka nentse ba dira ba ikanne gore mo bojanaleng ba go gaisa mongwe le mongwe lehatseng ba pa dijo tse ba di apang di gaisa dijo tsotlhe tse di ka pesegang bajanala ba pomponyega ba o kwa ke tatswa dijo tsa bone ba ikaeletse gore ba go phepahatsa metse ya bone tropo tsa bone matlo a bone